because what she sees, chat, are these giant, disgusting alien bug monsters, chat. And she looks to her side, and her husband is now a disgusting alien. It's creepy as fuck what she sees. Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I also wanted to let you know that not only do I create content here on Class in the Glass, but I also stream content in my Twitch channel, Mr. Revan7. I play single-player games, multiplayer games, and I also do movie reviews and cartoon reviews as well. I also want to encourage you to check out my Patreon, Class in the Glass, where I offer audio commentaries, full reactions for movies, and also the ability to submit questions for my video casts and podcasts. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and enjoy the video. But now, my friends, again, thank you for your generosity. Thank you again, Glee, for the one for the biddies. Thank you, Steve, for the biddies as well. We must get to my review of Batman Beyond Episode 10, Spellbinder, chat. This will be the last episode I'll do for a little while. Got to move on to some other tunes, chat. I am obligated after all. But I figured it'd be good to end on the big 1-0, chat. The big 1-0 with Spellbinder, chat. And we are starting this episode out, chat, with Chelsea. I never remember this girl's name, chat. I've been reviewing this series for 10 goddamn episodes. I'm like, who's the blonde-haired girl that's Dana's friend? It's Chelsea, chat. Her name is Chelsea. She's a little flaky, a little bit of a flirt, chat. You know, she's always hanging out with one other guy. Like, she's hanging out with, like, one guy per episode, chat. She's dating so many people. You know, she's trying the different flavors, chat. She's like at a goddamn ice cream parlor, and she's trying each and every single one before she finds the one that she wants, chat. But she really doesn't want to. She just wants to keep trying all the goddamn flavors. And she's on her way home, chat. She's on her way home from a little hot sex party. She had the hot and sweaty sex with this guy, chat. You know what happened. They're at his abode, and he's like, oh, can you still stay, Chels? Maybe I can walk you home at the very least. She's like, no, I can walk the 3 blocks by myself. And my dad, he just got home from target practice, from shooting practice, and I don't know if he'd like to see you. He goes, oh yeah, no, I don't want to bother your dad after all. It's like, okay, well, you call me, you text me later. She goes, yeah, I probably won't do that. She doesn't want to do that, chat. She's still sampling the flavors of the neighborhood. She's not done. And she's walking home, chat. She's walking home. But oh no, all of a sudden, the twirly man, chat, the twirly man, this guy wearing this full leotard, chat, full red leotard with this just black goddamn swirl, this this twirly swirl, chat, all around his face in costume, walks out in front of him. She's like, whoa, what the fuck? And he goes, hey, how you doing? He's like, she's a little scared. She's like, oh, don't be scared. Don't be scared. Here, look at this. And he has this giant floating eyeball, chat, and it goes up and goes, boom, and it almost like it takes his picture, chat. This blinding flash. It goes, yeah, and she's instantly transported, chat, to this jungle. It's very Raiders of the Lost Ark like, chat. Very Raiders of the Lost Ark like. She's like, what the hell? And she's just like, she's almost in a trance, chat. And she takes out her machete and she just starts a chopping, chat. And she's murdering all the people. No, it's not. She's just swinging this machete, chat. But when we cut back, like she's going through all this foliage, chat, going to this ancient temple. It's like, what the hell's going on? But we cut back to what's really happening, chat. And she has this hairbrush that she has on hand. And she's just, you know, slicing through the air and just going up these stairs, but she thinks she's going up these giant temple stairs, chat. And we cut back to what's really happening. It's her home. She goes inside her home, chat, but she's still swinging this goddamn thing. We see her father just sitting down reading a newspaper, and she's continuing walking just through her home, chat, until she comes to her father's office, her father's study, or she sees this object. But what she's seeing, chat, is this ancient temple. Sees the weird, fertility statue we see in in Raiders of the Lost Ark, just going, is in the process of front pooping out a baby, chat. And she takes the little statuette, she takes it, she goes, yes. And she turns around. And by the way, Spellbinder, the character's name is Spellbinder, chat, the swirly, twirly man. He was outside the window like, yeah, just like a fucking creeper, just watching her, chat. And he's like, yes, now go to the front door. Just using the softness of his voice, chat, doing this subliminal messaging. Just go out there and just drop it. And she steps out, chat, and it looks like what she's saying over like this precipice, chat, and there's lava, magma, liquid hot magma below. But what it is, chat, she's just right in front of this river, like right near Gotham Harbor, and she drops this statue, and Spellbinder falls into the magma as well. She's like, what the hell just happened? And then we hear Chelsea's dad going, Chelsea, what the fuck are you doing, girl? She's like, wait, what? What's going on? She like hears like a muffled voice, and her dad grabs like, what do? You just dropped that priceless statuette. It cost me 80 grand. She's like, what's going on? Wait, what happened? He's like, you don't know what you just did? She's like, what are you talking about? He's like, get your ass in the house. Get your ass. She's like, what did I do? She has no idea. And then we cut, chat. What comes out of the goddamn water, chat? Like just this demonic spirit, this undead zombie-like spirit, Spellbinder, chat. And he has the statue. He's also riding like a goblin glider too. He has like this really weird misshapen like circular goblin glider, chat. It's like a giant shrimp with petals. And he comes out and he has the statue in hand and he just fucking flies off, chat. Just flies off. And this is a weird goddamn situation what's going on right now because, it's the next day and Terry's at school. He's talking to his friend. This is the first introduction of one of his other friends. He's in a couple episodes. Let me go ahead and make sure I get this guy's name right here. Jared. He's talking to Jared. And apparently Jared, he's kind of listening to Terry, kind of not. Terry's like, well, hey, congratulations, man. You're getting a stepdad. Your mom's marrying. And he's like, yeah, whatever. He's like, what's wrong, man? I mean, aren't you kind of excited? He's like, nah, man, listen. She fucking goes through dudes like crazy. Apparently Jared's mom's been sleeping with a whole bunch of guys. Settled on this particular individual, chat. His name is Jim Tate, who comes back later on in the series, chat. I'm not going to tell you what he comes back as, but it's like, whoa, that's a cool little detail that they capitalized on later on in the series. Very cool. But there's hints. There's hints in this episode that sets up this character, Jim Tate, later on. It's pretty goddamn cool. Apparently this guy's fucking loaded, but, Jared, he's like, I don't care. My mom, she sleeps around all the goddamn time. This will be like her third husband. I have like dozens of, stepbrothers and sisters. It's just another drop in the bucket for mom. And he's like, well, man, maybe get some money out of it. He goes, yeah, whatever. I'll see you later, Terry. He's like, all right, bye. See you at class. And then Terry notices, chat, while he was heading to class, fucking Commissioner Barbara Gordon, chat, who's only been in the series a bit so far. She doesn't really know who Terry is. She's speculating, like, okay, what his connection with Bruce is at this point. And he sees her walk by, and he's like, oh, shit. And he kind of, like, turns around, like, fiddling with a locker. And she goes into the office of Ira Billingsley, chat. Ira Billingsley, which is a psychiatrist. It's like the high school psychiatrist counselor. And apparently they're following up on a case with Chelsea. Chelsea and her father made a police report saying that she seemed to have come under a certain trance. And they want to cross-reference this with someone who's been speaking with her lately. Chelsea's been seeing the guidance counselor. Other students have been seeing Dr. Ira Billingsley. And, Barbara Gordon just wanted his opinion. And Ira Billingsley's like, well, I don't mean to waste your time, Commissioner, but what's happening is Chelsea seems to have a lot of repressed feelings of resentment towards her father, and I believe this is her acting out. She shared these details with me. Obviously, I'm kind of going against my code sharing these with you, but since it's a police report, I just wanted to give you the sake and kind of make sure, just for your sake, just kind of end it and make sure we all come to, a logical conclusion. She goes, so you believe that it's just her acting out? Sadly, I do, Commissioner. I'm happy to work with her, but I think that's what it is. She's like, well, thank you for your time, Ira. And she leaves the office, chat. And Barbara, she picks up that Terry's been listening the whole time. She just stares at him, chat. And I love what they do with Barbara because she, in a way, is very much like Bruce now, where she's crotchety, she's old, she's bitter, she's a little cold now. She's a little more warmth than Bruce does, chat, but she's just fucking watching him. He's like, oh, and she just walks away because she knows what Terry really is. She knows that he's the next Batman, the Batman beyond, the Batman of the future. And Terry, he goes and he works for Bruce and apparently doing a little spring cleaning. So I love it. Bruce actually has him doing fucking chores around the house because he doesn't have a butler anymore, chat. Doesn't have Alfred. Alfred is buried in the Batcave, by the way. It's fucking weird. He's buried in the Batcave, chat. It's like, can the Pennyworths never visit his grave? Nope, he's buried in the Batcave. And so they're just going back and forth and talking. Terry's just like, yeah, it's just kind of weird. Like Chelsea, listen, she's a flake, but what she was talking about, she wouldn't do something like that, without a good reason, she's just not like that. And Bruce is like, just pay it no mind. Like, Bruce is very dismissive of it. He's just like, it's this kid's acting now. And I love this line, chat, because what Batman Beyond does such a great job of is layering in a lot of the history of the previous DC animated shows, especially the original Batman series. Superman is also in there as well. Some of that history is brought about. Thank you, Darkslayer, for the 5 biddies. She's that aunt that always watches and makes sure you don't fuck up. Pretty much. I agree with that. That's an excellent description, Darkslayer. Summer Baby, good to see you. I just saw you there, Summer Baby. Welcome. Better than having Alfred stuff. That's true. That's true. Also, the supervillains are buried underneath the Batcave, too. I learned that from one of you guys as well. It's creepy. But I guess you would know a lot about taking in kids, wouldn't you? About what the delinquent things that because that's the line he says. I guess you would know a lot about taking in delinquent kids. And Bruce just stops what he's doing and just stares at him because he's talking about the Robins, he's talking about Batgirl and everything like that. And he goes, "Okay, sorry." I just love that. I love that. And then it's like next day chat. We're at night, and it's like a hard cut chat because now we're at like a fashion exhibition chat, or like a museum which showcases. No, I guess it's like it's a warehouse filled with all sorts of dresses that are very, very expensive, and they're given to the most wealthy citizens, socialites of Gotham City. We have this one guy chat. There's one individual, I believe, what's this guy's name? I think Mr. Cunningham, Chet, he's the owner of this establishment. And he's locking up for the night. And he's just talking to security guards. He's like, "Oh, boys, these dresses, they're just so beautiful. Don't you think?" They go, "Yes, Mr. Cunningham, yes, they are." It's just like, he's just obsessed with them, Chet. But all of a sudden, it was Mr. Cunningham's walking out, walking out. He's going down this path he always does. And fucking Spellbinder steps in the path. Hey, look at this. Does it smell like chloroform to you? And he chloroforms it, Chet. It's like a photobomb chloroform attack. Chloroform photobomb. And he puts it in his face. He goes, "No!" And then it's all of a sudden, Mr. Cunningham, he attacks the guard ship, beats the shit out of them. They're like, "What the hell?" And they call the GCPD to follow up what the hell's going on. And then, Bruce gets a ring-a-ding-ding about this kind of thing. He goes ahead and sends Terry. And Terry's like, "Okay, I'll follow up with this." And he goes down. We see Barbara Gordon. She's there. She's interviewing the guards, asking them questions. And the guards are saying, "We've been working with this guy for years, so we never thought he would go crazy like this. We know he loves those goddamn dresses and things, but to attack us and to put the whole building to shutdown, we never would have expected this." And Terry's like, "This is just weird." And the guards just say it's almost like he was seeing something that wasn't there. He's like, "Wait a minute." And we cut to Mr. Cunningham chat, and he's totally sealed himself off in this office, and he has this one particular, like, mannequin chat with this dresser, and he's like, "I'm gonna protect you, man. I'm gonna fucking protect you." And we see what he's seeing, chat, and he's in the middle of a goddamn war zone. People are fucking exploding. They're all covered in blood and viscera and fluids of various things, chat, piss and shit and blood. It's a massacre. And he has this one phrase like, "I'm gonna get you out of here, Billy." And he's fighting off all these guys, shit. He's like, "Hold on." He has a grenade. He bites down and he throws it. This is a coffee cup, which he just took a bite out of, chat. Just destroys this teeth, chat. Just cracks his teeth. He's like, he's bleeding everything. And he's taking the Billy to the rooftop, chat, and who's there waiting for him, chat? It looks like he's seeing a helicopter, but it's Spellbinder riding his giant shrimp goblin glider. And Batman sees, he's like, "What the fuck is that?" And he fucking flies down. And he's like, "This is a weird night, boys. What are you guys doing?" And he's like, "Here, take him, man. Take Billy. I'll hold him off." And Spellbinder gives him a machine gun. He's like, "Oh, go ahead and take care of it." And Mr. Cunningham just starts shooting, and Terry goes, "No!" And Terry's like, "Whoa!" He's trying to dodge the bullets and shit, chat. Eventually, he throws a batarang, explodes the machine gun, chat, and then Mr. Cunningham just fucking rushes Terry, just slams in him, chat, just fucking slams in and just starts pounding at him. And Terry's like, "I don't want to hurt you, man. I don't want to hurt you." And he's starting to, Mr. Cunningham just starts, "I'll fucking kill you. You won't get Billy, man." And Terry's just like, "Okay, I gotta take him out." And he fucking slaps the side of his head, chat, so he could desensitize him, and throws him into a concrete wall. Then he comes to, and he goes, "Wait, what happened? What happened?" He's like, "Hey, man, you tell me." And they arrest Mr. Cunningham, chat. And eventually, Bruce shows up there, and Terry's waiting. And goes, "Okay, now you believe me?" And he's like, Bruce is like, "All right, fair enough. You were right." I love that Bruce actually admits that he's wrong here. It's pretty goddamn cool. You're right about this. They go back. It's the next day. They go, "Not Billy." It's like Nam. It's like his Nam flashback. And they go, it's like the next night. Terry, he's been invited to the wedding of Jared's mother and Jared's stepfather. And he needs a tux, and they're quite expensive. And him and Bruce are talking about this individual. They keep saying this twirly swirly man who somehow casts a spell. And Bruce is like, "I'm gonna follow up with this, okay?" And Terry's like, "Hey, do you mind if I borrow one of these tuxes I found upstairs?" And Bruce is like, "Go ahead." And he's like, "It's a little old school." And we look inside the tux, chat. You know what it says in the label, because it's custom made, but it fits Terry very well. You know what it says because some people they write people's names inside the tuxes, like make it very personable. It says Grayson. And Terry looks at it and he goes, "Who's Grayson?" And Bruce just stops and he just walks out of the room. I just love that moment because that just, without him saying anything, he just pauses and he walks out. Now, for those of you who don't know, Obviously, Dick Grayson was Robin, was the original Robin in the comics and the animated series, chat. And in the third season, Bruce and Dick had a horrible falling out. It actually came to physical violence, where fucking Dick punched the shit out of Batman, chat, and he became Nightwing. And there was always a lot of tension between Bruce and Dick. I mean, Nightwing had a relationship with Catwoman, and Batman's like, don't listen. I've been in a relationship with her too. It's just weird. Like Dick Grayson had a sexual relationship with Catwoman in the animated series, much like Bruce did, and it's just really fucked up. And they never recovered from it, chat. And in the comics, the sequel comics go on even worse things, and the relationship just never recovered. And so to see that just sadness and anger and resentment and sorrow on Bruce's face, he just walks out of the room. To me, it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful and sad moment, Chad. Just the history, and you get so much out of it when you have seen the previous season, and know sadly what happened to that relationship and how it dissolved. And Sam Terry, he just wears, he doesn't know who the other Robins were. He knows that there were Robins, doesn't know who their secret identities were. And he wears it, Chad. He goes to the wedding of his friend. And damn, this is a apparently Mr. Jim Tate, chat, Jared's father-in-law, he is fucking loaded, chat, because they got the biggest goddamn exhibition dining hall in the city. The wife, she's adorned in diamonds, chat, necklaces. Is like, honey, you look fantastic. And this guy, Mr. Tate, chat, he's a big boy. He's a very big boy, chat. He's thick as hell. So it's like, clearly, apparently, I don't think she married him just for his money, chat. He's packing. He's a big boy. So they're going down the aisle, and everyone's like, yeah, here. And even Jared's like, here. Terry's like, what are you talking about? I thought you didn't like your new stepdad. He's like, I didn't until he bought me a new goddamn car. He's like, he's all right in my book. And Terry's like, well, see, there you go. But then, chat, we see who's up in the fucking rafters. Spellbinder, chat. Spellbinder's also there. But Terry doesn't know of this. And Spellbinder's in control of one of the cameras, chat. We have all these cameras float down, and they're taking pictures, and they're recording the wedding of the Tates, chat. And the one with the little creepy chloroform eyeball goes boom right in the face of the now Mrs. Tate. And she's like, ah! Because what she sees, chat, are these giant, disgusting alien bug monsters, chat. And she looks to her side, and her husband is now a disgusting alien. It's creepy as fuck what she sees. And she's like, and she's like ripping off her dress and everything. Chad's like, get him off me, get him off me. She's flipping out. She's running, Chad. She sees this one, like, a little abomination go, and it's like the flower goes. She's like, what's wrong? She goes, get the fuck away from me. And she takes off. And the husband's like, honey, what's wrong? And Jared's concerned. And Terry says, what the hell? And he's looking around because, okay, something happened. And he spots fucking Spellbinder up there. There's that motherfucker. And, but he goes, he has the Batmobile parked outside, and he goes and he changes, chat. Meanwhile, we follow, now Mrs. Tate. She's losing her goddamn mind. She's ripping off her clothes, chat, and showing the bazoongas and everything. And she's falling off and things, and she's like, because all she sees are these giant bug-like creatures trying to eat her alive, all right? Actually pretty creepy. And she comes up on this precipice, chat. She's like, there's a spot safely below. And her husband's like, honey, don't jump. They're all the guys are like, don't jump. It's okay. And she's like, no, get the fuck away from me. And she jumps off, and goes, slams right down on the, thankfully it wasn't too far, but she hurts herself a little bit. She's like, ah. And she gets up, chat. And she starts, they're on me. And then the necklace, chat, looks like a bunch of bugs like tearing away at her flesh, and actually rips off her fucking necklaces, rips off her earlobes, like they're bleeding and everything. It's like, oh my God, it's like a children's cartoon. And she throws it on the ground. She just starts fucking running, chat, running down, but she doesn't know she's on the goddamn highway. And so she hears this, she thinks it's this giant man-eating potato bug coming for her, chat, but it's the monorail system. It's a train. And Terry finally changed in the Batmobile costume. And he sees her, and he goes, fuck. He just goes down there, chat, grabs her. And the thing is, though, she thinks he's a goddamn monster, too. She's like, get away from me. And she's just scratching at his face. She's like, lady, please, lady. She's like tearing at him, chat. And eventually, he just drops, take her. Fucking take her. He puts her with there, but he sees Spellbinder fly down, and he grabs the jewels, chat, before the train gets him. Oh, actually, no, the train passes over. They're not undamaged. And he grabs him. Terry's like, you motherfucker. And he goes after him, Chad. He goes after him, lands on the giant shrimp glider, and he's just about, who the fuck are you? Just about to punch him in the face. And Spellbinder's like, why don't you get a look? And he chloroforms him. He's like, chloroform photograph. And he goes, gah! And then Bruce is in context like, Terry, what's wrong? Because Terry just stops moving. He just stops moving. And we see from Terry's perspective, chat, he's in like this jungle again. And he sees this giant waterfall below, this crystal clear blue water. He's in like, he's in the little trunks. And he just fucking dives off the shrimp glider. Bruce is like, Terry, and Terry's not hearing anything, Chad, until, Bruce finally just yells loud enough. He's like, what? And he comes to, Chad. And he goes, oh, shit. And he just, it's a sloppy landing, though, Chad. Because he would have, he hits the goddamn ground, but he kind of skids on the ground. He skids on the ground, hits a goddamn car. Fucking truck falls over, Chet, because it hits it so goddamn hard. Boom. He's just flipping and flopping all on the ground, Chet. And this is the first time we see significant battle damage to the Batsuit, Chet. He rips off, like, the facade, what it looks like underneath. Because it's like Iron Man, really. It's like a slim Iron Man suit. And he rips off all the bat kind of facade, the costuming part. And now he's all like he's all locked in and stuff like that. And he's really hurt himself. But he eventually does get back to the Batcave, Chad. And Bruce is like, Jesus Christ, I've never seen this suit take on this much damage. And Terry's just like, I know what I saw. It felt so real. I could smell the water. And apparently Bruce is like, I could see it too, because they in the feed, chat, because it's connected to his neural pathways to his brain. So Bruce is basically actually seeing through Terry's eyes and recorded what Terry was thinking, what he was seeing. And he goes, this kind of technology, I've heard about this, and they mentioned Cadmus. I was like, oh, Cadmus, which is really goddamn cool. And I never knew they could be perfected like this. And this is a really serious situation. And Bruce, he's been doing a lot of research to this point. He has this there's something that's connecting these three people together. I haven't figured it out yet. And he's like, listen, take a couple of days. We're gonna catch this guy, but you almost died. And Bruce actually feels bad about the situation where Terry almost died. He's like, take a couple of days. I'll let you know what I find. And it's like, okay. Then we cut to the next day, chat, and Terry's been called to the psychiatrist's office, Ira Billingsley, chat. Let me make sure I got his name. I believe it's Ira. Ira Billings. Thinking of Peter Billingsley from Far From Home and Iron Man. Goes to Ira Billings' office, and apparently he's just been meeting with all these students, and he wants to meet with Terry because Terry hasn't been going to these sessions because of the death of his father. And he's like, well, Terry, just wanted to speak with you. And Terry's like, listen, I'm good. He's like, no, Terry, listen, I just want to talk to you. I know that your father passed away some months ago. So it establishes by episode 10, chat, at least several months have passed since the first episode, since Rebirth Part 1 and 2. So I like that. We got a sense of a chronology. Which is cool. And he goes, I just want to talk to you about that if you don't mind. I don't mean to, reopen old wounds, but I hear that you have a new job. I hear that's really great, really positive, working for a billionaire. That must be so much fun. Sit down, Terry, sit down. And then we cut to the Batcave, chat, and Bruce is still doing his research. What is connecting Chelsea, Mr. Cunningham, and the now Mrs. Tate? And he's trying to figure it out, chat. But then he hears the fucking Batcave alerts go out, chat. There's an intruder on Wayne Manor. And he's like, ah, shit. He grabs his goddamn cane. He's just holding it like this because he's ready. I don't need this cane. I don't need it only a couple times, but I'm going to whack somebody. He goes up there, and he just sees Terry tearing the place apart and stuffing this bag full of all of these, expensive objects that Bruce has had over the years, chat. All, the vases and all knickknacks, all these kind of very fancy rich stuff, right? And he's stuffing this bag, and Bruce is going Terry, and Terry's not listening to him, Chad. We cut to see what Terry's seeing, and it's all like this. It's like this supermarket game show, Chad. It's like, grab as much stuff as you possibly can and get to the finish line. He's like, yeah, cereal. He's like, yeah, this is great cereal. But he's grabbing all these incredible artifacts, chat, that Bruce has acquired over his years, both as Batman and as Bruce Wayne. And he's just stuffing the bag, and Bruce gonna go up to him, and what Terry sees is this very large, heavy-set woman just fuck with him. He goes, let go, and he punches the woman. He punches Bruce. Bruce is like, fuck. And Bruce is like, all right, fuck this, because what he does, this is a cool move that Bruce does, because he sees Terry walking around so fast and shoving all this stuff in. Bruce takes the cane, goes, foo, and throws it right into the grill of the fireplace, chat. So when Terry turns, he trips over the thing. And Bruce gets on top of him, chat, and just he's like, I ain't fucking around. And Bruce just just back in the old days, starts wailing on Terry, chat, just punching him in the goddamn face and backhands him, because he's like, what the fuck just happened? He's bleeding everywhere. He's just like, sorry, I was just reliving my glory days. He's like, oh, you're fine. I was holding back. I'm an old man. And he's like, what happened? He's just like, I don't remember anything. The only thing I remember was going into Ira Billings' office, and he goes, Bruce is like, yeah, Ira Billings is Spellbinder, because we go down the Batcave, chat, and Ira Billings met with Chelsea, chat. That's her psychiatrist. Dr. Cunningham, his son, or Mr. Cunningham, Mr. Cunningham's son has been seeing Ira Billings, chat, and Jared's mother, the now Mrs. Tate, chat. Her son, Jared, has also been seeing Ira Billings, chat. It's all fucking connected. And Terry just saw him. That confirms it. And Terry's just like, holy shit. So he's been manipulating all these people, chat, finding information out about them, and has been stealing their wealth for who knows how long at this point. But then Terry remembers, he's like, oh shit, he's waiting outside for me. And they check the fucking cameras, and there he is. He's sitting on the fucking shrimp glider just waiting for him. And he's like, that son of a bitch. And he's like, okay, well, he's not going to meet Terry McGinnis out there. And Terry's like, hell yeah. Oh, this is so much pain because Bruce beat the shit out of him. But then, Spellbinder's just waiting out there. Iris is waiting out there, chat. And fucking Batman, Terry shows up. He's like waiting for someone. And they get into a goddamn big battle, chat. Terry disables the shrimp glider and everything. And Ira runs into because Bruce owns like a section, like he has like a forest in his goddamn home. Like the Wayne estate is actually pretty goddamn huge. Just not the manor, chat. It's not just the Batcave. He owns acres and acres of land and this naturally preserved forest, chat. Because most of Gotham has sadly been, bulldozed and concreted over, chat. But he has this large portion of a forest, and, Spellbinder runs in there. And Terry goes after him, and fucking Spellbinder turns around and is like, this smell like chloroform to you? And he goes, boom! And he flashes him, chat. And he goes, oh, but it doesn't look like it had any effect. And Bruce is like, Terry, you okay? He's like, yeah, he got me, but I don't think it worked. And he's trying to look for him, chat. But then he looks down and the earth begins to shake. And these fucking deformed, rotting hands begin to pull themselves out of the earth, chat. He's being attacked by zombies. He's like, oh, oh, and he starts fighting these zombies, chat, but there's nothing there. And Spellbinder's just hopping around with a goddamn bat, chat, just whacking him occasionally, just gonna whack him, like backing off, whacking him, backing off, trying to just beat him down slowly. And Bruce, he's seen both like what Terry's actually seen, but also what's real. He's like, Terry, what's happening is not real. And Bruce is trying to control him, puppet Terry, so he can fight Spellbinder. And Terry figures this out as well, hits one of the zombies, which then it looks like Spellbinder, and he runs off, and Terry goes after him at this point. And then we're coming like to the cliffside of Wayne Manor, and Spellbinder just has his hands raised like this, like he gave up. And Terry just starts fucking running at him, and Bruce is like, stop, stop, stop! And then Terry stops because the illusion vanishes, shit. He wasn't actually there, and he almost fucking goes over the edge, shit. He goes, whoa, shit! And then Terry's like, he's behind me, isn't he? And fucking Spellbinder's just about to hit him with the goddamn bat again. And he just goes, whoop. He just goes, whoop, chat. And Spellbinder goes over, just like, ah. But Terry fucking saves him, chat, because he ain't going to kill him, obviously. He's got his code. Unless you're the Joker reborn, he's not going to kill you. Grabs him, rips the mask off, chat. And lo and fucking behold, chat, it's Ira Billings. Also, Ira Billings reveals that the reason why I did this because, and this is a great story. It's a great piece of history, chat, because I'm an underpaid teacher. You know how much I get paid a year? $34,000. Even in Neo Gotham, chat, even in the year 2039, teachers are still getting paid shit. And so I wanted to fucking manipulate all these goddamn kids and get me what's mine, these little snot-nosed brats, because I deserve it. That's his reason. That's his reason, chat. So Commissioner Gordon, the GCBD come by, chat. They arrest Ira Billings on Wayne's property. And Barbara walks up to Bruce, and she's like, so we just happened to arrest you. You just happened to find this supervillain here on your estate. Like it was like no big deal. He goes, yeah, we just found him there. Batman dropped him off. And Barbara's like, Bruce, don't do this. And she turns to Terry. Is just like, you're Terry McGinnis, correct? She goes, yeah, I'm Mr. Wayne's assistant. She looks at Bruce and he goes, his father passed away recently, right? And he goes, yes, he did. And she looks at him and goes, I'll see you around, kid. Because she looks back at the Wayne Manor and she just goes, oh, geez, it's happening again. It's happening again. And she walks off, chat. The relationship between Barbara and Terry is great. We're not at that point yet, but I love that this is the first episode that starts it, really, truly. And she walks away, chat. And that, my friends, is Batman Beyond Episode 10, Spellbinder. A fantastic episode, chat. Really goddamn good. Love how they play with the illusions. Love the layering in of the history of the previous animated shows. It's just great. Batman Beyond is such a quality cartoon shit. Highly recommend checking it out if you have not seen it. It will be posted to HBO Max later in January. Yeah, that's what he says. Yeah, it's funny, Kingpin. He says, like, the people that pick up my trash get paid more than me. He says at one point in the episode, Spellbinder, that is, Ira Billings. It's like teachers still getting underpaid, and it's still crazy how relevant that is. So, yep, so we're going. Thank you, sir. I'm glad. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. Yeah, these reviews are very fun today, Chad. Very fun today. 34,000, that's far into the future, has been completely destroyed by inflation. Yup. No, thank you, KC. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah. Seriously, all because he never get that Red Ryder carbine action 200 shot range model air rifle. Ooh, indeed. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm glad you guys like that review. I just love it when fucking Bruce starts beating the shit out of Terry. Just gets on top of himself. No, wake up. It's like, I gotta hit you. Oh, Glee, 100 pities. Thank you, good stuff, Juicy. Thank you, Glee. Thank you so much. Good review. I wish they somehow revived the show. They still can. I've been saying this for quite a while, Chad, since I started reviewing a lot of these DC animated shows. Kelly! Thank you so much for the 400 video donation. Welcome to stream. I hope you've been enjoying it. Whoa, we got a hype train going, Chad. We got a hype train going. And King Bigby, I see you coming in with the 11 months subscribed. Oh, Mr. Great. If they gave a prize for being mean, the winner would be him. Thank you. You're no Scrooge, King Bigby. Thank you so much. 1 month away from 12 months. A full year. I hope you've been enjoying the content, my friend. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Woo! Green Christmas sign, Mr. Sun. Counting with 100 biddies. But thank you so much. But yeah, as I was saying, chat, they still can. They could do another. They could do multiple seasons. They could bring this back to life. I'd said before, if HBO Max wants to get more subscribers, do like, hey, a special announcement. We're doing more seasons of Batman the Animated Series, Superman, Static Shock, Justice League, and Batman Beyond. Make it happen. You can do other ones too. You can do Wonder Woman as well, chat. Whoa, thank you guys. Thank you for getting. I'm only level 2. Oh, Kelly, thank you again for the biddies. Vanessa, seriously, go 200 biddies. Hype train! Thank you so much. Richie Rascal, see you gifting the sub to Kingpin89. Thank you, guys. Wow. Wow-wa-wee-wa. Wow-wa-wee-wa, chat. Thank you so much.